Right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Um, Today, now the 6th of the 6th, 2023. In other words, today, now the 6th month of the 6th day of the month of June, 2023, and we have just gone live. It's a good feeling for the life and for be alive, well and kicking and ready for our huge program. Before we go forward, can I offer an apology to the thousands of we viewers, we sympathizers, we members, we antagonists them all around the world, dotted all over the world, for running an hour late, almost an hour late. The reason sometimes is because of technical, but there could be other things as well. But it's appropriate that we tell we people I'm sorry for starting a program late. But it's also a good feeling that for start or do the program is better than not for do them at all. So on this day, I want to say a warm greetings to Una. As soon as don't begin to sign massively, and Una not forget, we guessed. I want member Una we don't sign in. We guessed at some point we get for open the phone lines for let Una call, and I sure say Una get a view, an opinion, or a question for the guest. Please don't forget this. It's a very special program. Helping me to co-host the program. In fact, I am co-hosting the program. The host of this program is none other but Imran T. And we guessed we're going to introduce them shortly. But Fambulem, this now the then and now TV media empire, shortly called T&N TV media empire. Please don't touch that dial as you help me for continue for share. So once more, Fambulem, a massive welcome and greetings from the then and now TV media empire. Again, I repeat the date, the 6th of the 6th, 2023. We get Imran T, and we get none other but Dr. Richard Conte, a man who considered to be a friend of this platform, and for the sake of nation, is always available when you call upon him for can talk about issues, thorny issues, burning issues. I see the number they develop very fast. 35 of us already sign on. And I know if we begin on time, it would have been far greater than this, but we expect the number to be very much appreciable. So let me just go straight into this. Dr. Conte, can I please welcome you once more to the T&N TV media empire? But before I do so, I will allow Imran introduce Imran and let Imran introduce the great Dr. Conte. Imran.
Fambulem in a cabo, plenty kusheto una all. We want tell una thank you again for where una can join we. I want for join me co-host. For tell una say we really sorry we will late little bit for come join with Ina for talk about burning issues them now we country. The reason being we be get some small technical glitch where we be try for sort out, but we don't do it now. The man what we talk about, na man where na academic bomber, political heavyweight, na a social man, elect people them, he get people in a body. Na be a flag bearer contender, na incan second. So na man where care and they carry a lot of juice na it tank. And we gladly forget and with.
Okay, we lost him Monday briefly.
Family, okay. No other person but Dr. Richard Conte. Doctor, you're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Imran. Thank you very much, Prince. Now, always a pleasure for come on this platform for share some thoughts about happiness at this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, sir. And just for go straight to the point, Fambulen. I mean, there are many thorny issues around the elections, when they come up. And of course, the theme of this particular program there's a little bit of a diversion, even though we'll talk about it was meant to talk about the One Nation Manifesto. We still go up Motmanam, we will touch on the 5 pillars of the APC 2023 One Nation Manifesto. But because since the last time we talked to Dr. Conte, barely a week ago, there have been many, many developments and other issues than the thorny issues, the pending elections, and we know say the pressure cooker don't reach the boiling point or critical mass if you don't go overboard already. So we expect Dr. Conte this evening for talk to we, and then ask pertinent questions. Then we go probably allay people their fears or address people their concerns. This is very, very serious, and we expect people for help for shape this program. And please don't hesitate for shape the program. And please remember, Dr. Conte himself, they look forward to Una asking direct questions to Ram. So at some point during this program, we will be opening the lines. Dr. Conte, just going back to you quickly, sir. I don't know, and it's a question because as election alone, there's a general belief, or was, or is a general belief that this election is for APC to lose. In other words, it's APCs are supposed to be APC's elections. But from what we see, with those of us who discuss social media far, wide, near, and inside and out, I mean, there is some pictures that when they emerge, videos when they emerge of people rallying to the call of the SLPP government, whether they do their elections mobilization, where they come for cheer them up, support them, or whatever way you might want to call them. This is real, this is physical, it's real time, you can see, touch, and what have you. Does it send down fears into people like you and others within the All People's Congress that probably things are not going your way, you been expect for don't kill this off, but people are still rallying to the call of the SLPP? Does it bother you, sir?
The fact that people then they attend rallies organized by the SLPP, not they bother me at all, because now borrowed crowd. Now not forget say the SLPP are the government in power, then get the resources, and if then they move, go any side, then go with 10 bus, then go with 50 Matoka. By the time all man don't count down from Matoka and snap it up big crowd. And not forget say because na president, when they go any side, all the government functionaries then bound for the day, all the paramount chiefs then bound for the day, and when they carry the cow them people. And of course, in a state of poverty like that, if they go then pay singers, then pay dancers, then go come out. And if they give youths then 300,000 leons, 200,000 leons, 150,000 leons for make you wear talk and do t-shirt for me you go sing and dance. If you don't do 2 days, you're not get waiting for it. Once you can't give 200 for me wear t-shirt, you go wear them. But that I don't read too much into that. And even for those few people here and there, where they go both ways. People they declare every day to KIPC, so they declare back for Western people. Those things don't bother me. What they bother me now the deliberate efforts where the SLPP they make for foment violence in the elections. We see how then they attack we people them at the southeast. They make a taboo, a crime for make somebody support APC, and then they come out and unleash mayhem on their own people then just because the people then are APC. That they worry me. What did they worry me again now? What did they happen at the ECSL? Where did they make a deliberate effort for withhold something where they are given? The voters register now given. That's for make it available 6 months, 5 months before the elections. Why did they hide them? Now they want to sabi. But today I will expose some issues with the database where we don't uncover, where they suggest, say there are some challenges. So even if they give you the register, whenever they will give them, if we analyze them, we'll go on act a lot more, and we'll come back on this platform for can expose some of those inadequacies, because it's clear now for say they want to manipulate the voters register, they want to manipulate the whole electoral process and skew in their favor. But as I've been saying in the interview last week, this election not about APC SLPP. This is about SLPP against the people of Sierra Leone. And I believe, say, the people of Sierra Leone, they're ready and determined to come out and vote massively for the APC and send SLPP a clear message for, say, the term don't pass, where you can impose your will on the majority. The people of Sierra Leone, they get a mind of their own, they're able to judge for themselves, and they don't see, say, the suffering done beaucoup, the pain done beaucoup, the human rights abuses done beaucoup, and therefore they want a change. And they believe, say, the APC, they provide that change, as long as we vote for the APC.
Imran, you mute. You mute, unmute.
Dr. Conte, you spoke really well, and we all get apprehensions them, looking at the things them wait for happen when it don't happen. Because elections forget a referee, then get forget an arbiter, and people then get forget faith in the system. For some of us, when activists, when people and we believe in social justice and equality, we be on the call for the longest time say the system look very unequal. And we be done the propose, because so far me concerned, gets a notion say we be done past the red line long since we be get an understanding say then do a census where first time in we life in we history then tell we for say the rural area get population past the urban area. For me, that was the red line where I know for say these people were up to no good. And in that process, also up to about 200 and something thousand people then disappear mysteriously, and all things and it don't happen. When I feel to say it is the best interest of the country and the will of the people then, for let we still progress and go into this election blindfolded.
Well, I don't believe so to go into the elections blindfolded. We they go into the elections fully aware of what we they go into. This morning, we get a meeting with the development partners. We get the American ambassador, the EU ambassador, the German ambassador, the British High Commissioner, the Irish ambassador, the UN SRSG, for the United Nations, the UNDP resident representative. They're all been in the meeting. And we all discuss the recent developments, and we underscore the challenges for the face as a party, and the fact say there's no level playing field, and that the actions of the SLPP, they undermine the democratic process, they undermine confidence in the electoral process, and therefore they pose a serious threat to the entire nation. We highlight the issue about simple like the voters register when I given for make them produce, but they not still agree for produce, just the further just raise unnecessary tensions. When you add that to the fact, say, the ID cards, the way they say they print for the elections, I mean, you go shame yourself for producer any side outside ECSL office. And when you add to that the fact, say, we don't get all of these attempts for blockade the Southeast, unleash mayhem on we people, and I mean, they sort of try to force the opposition for react. But so far, we don't exercise restraint. We don't show, say, we believe in democracy, and we believe in the people, and we believe, say, the people will do the right thing, and that no amount of intimidation not go sway them. So, I mean, this is what is happening, but we still confident as a party, and we they organize ourselves, and we they try to put in place strategies for ensure, say, they not succeed for thwart the will of the people, and that we go ensure, say, the will of the people will stand, and the APC will emerge victorious at the end of the day.
Doc, I'm glad the way you talk for say una dey try for make the will of the people them go be showcased. But the people them, including me, when they talk to you, Naya, feel to say Buna actions they wanna don't take, not robust enough. Because we get a feeling a strong conviction, say, them people there, not to accident. This now a premeditated actions them people there they do for make them go able for rig these elections, because not so a one-off. It's not catalog of things them they don't do way not complementary to good election practices, because you know say we get international good practice where you dey expect for make people them follow where things like election they take place. The man they don't breach all them one and they, and even we own constitution lay some of them things they are out. They have not followed them, and now we get a group of people them where so don't angry, including myself. We don't decide say we go protest. Say the election is unequal. We not dey ask for anything more. We not dey ask for anything less. We just want free and fair elections. And so far, we not believe say at this point, if they give the disaggregated list right now, it still don't disadvantage the opposition party them. So we not feel to say it is right for them we go forward with these elections. What is that you take on the many people them we don't decide for protests?
The APC is a law-abiding party. We believe in the rule of law, and we still believe in the judiciary no matter what. We be done right to the Electoral Commission for demand the release of the voters registered in Odd one. We don't write to the Electoral Commission repeatedly for demand that they respect the provisions of Section 92(2) of the Public Elections Act of 2022, where states say the first level of certification of the results for be at the district level after they don't finish at the state polling station level. The first certification for take place at the district level, and that the certification will take place in the office of the district elections officer, whether the district returning officer, and that if we make copies of the certified document available to the party agents we present inside in office. They not talk say na for go down at the region. The Electoral Commission they insist say then to go down at the region, and then they in contravention of the Public Elections Act of 2022, specifically Section 92(2) of the Act, and we feel say it wrong. So we go court. We go court for force, therefore release the voters register, and for force, therefore comply with that provision. For many courts go direct them for say therefore do the first level of certification at the district level, because now that's the act we then take to Parliament provide for. I will not go allow them for continue for breach the provisions of the Constitution and any relevant acts were applicable for the electoral system as Sierra Leone. Would they go to court and me go be a witness? In that case, I don't already depose to an affidavit today, and I believe say by tomorrow we'll go finish the documents that we go sign off, and we go file the court, because we believe in the rule of law, and we believe say we will push this matter to extent possible for make them understand say the rule of law now for reign supreme that we land, and would they put the judiciary to a test for see if they will get the wherewithal for really come out and say enough is enough. We know they condone these types of breaches of the provisions of the legal instruments.
And before Imran they come with the next question, Imran, if I can beg your pardon, I just want to do a follow-up of a brilliant question where you asked Dr. Conte, which he seemed for don't address. But I mean, just want to do a follow-up on that quickly. And Dr. Conte, the follow-up is the APC is a respecter of the rule of law, which is a good thing on pen and paper and even practically. But there seems to be an other side, according to the same case where you just make, that has violated the constitutional responsibility obligations over and over and over. And there's a time constraint at this particular point in time, sir, if I should draw this to your attention. It is 18 days to history making, 18 days to elections. and people are still confused, and people are still being misled, being misinformed, not by you, but by the information where they filter out there. You are going to court to prove something of, say they are not right, the violation of the public elections law, the violations of the Constitution, and this particular side, section 2, and I think 92, which is
92
92 too, yeah. That the test level of certification of results should be dealt with at district level and rah. But all of that has been violated, left out, and the days are marching.
No. It has not yet been violated. The commission, they attempt for violate.
Okay, Dr. Conte, I propose you this. I don't mean say it's been violated. I mean there have been many other constitutional violations, and this is something where you can attest to. So if these constitutional things have been violated in the past, especially regarding 2023 June 24 elections, it is clear as daylight that there will be further violations. And it's not a bad thing for Leona pursue and the courts, but 18 days to elections, Dr. Conte.
This now an act we get for take place just after the voting and the counting at the polling station. After the voting and they don't do the reconciliation at the polling station, they don't certify the result at the polling station, the next level of certification will take place at the district level. So we get time. If the judges there speedily act on them, they give a directive for make them do it, it's still possible for make them do them after the election.
Dr. Conte, did you hear that, sir? If playing with the lives and the future of 8 million people, and this now on the basis of almost biblically hope, if the judge is not up as by the requirements of the law, but if, sir, is that something the Sierra Leonean people are supposed for buy at this critical and crucial stage?
Sadly, that is what we have. That is what we have. That is the law. Would they put the judiciary to a test and foresee what they go do? But I also state this. Make nobody not underestimate the resolve of the All People's Congress as a party. The leadership don't do its best for restrain in membership throughout these 5 years. The party don't come against a lot of opposition. It don't come against a lot of intimidation. It don't come against a lot of human rights abuses. With members that don't suffer all over the country. We members not able to get any protection, even from the security forces, where they're set up for provide that security.
And yet you are still testing.
Remember,
and yet you are still testing the judiciary.
Make I finish. We don't restrain with people them all these years. But they say there could just be a limit to waiting we can do for restraining them. And we wildly fear that it might get to a point when the people can decide for act on their own. We dey pray say it not happen. But today, in the meeting, we tell the government partners say it will be challenging. For say we go continue for guarantee. Say people will continue for be law abiding. But definitely, we believe say the onus they on the government for ensure say they uphold the rule of law. The onus they on the government for ensure say we get free, fair, transparent, and peaceful elections. They will therefore take responsibility if they allow the reckless behavior of any institution or individuals for drag this country back to which side we don't come out. We not desire that, we not want that, and we pray say then we take responsibility and ensure say we not get back to that. But make nobody not feel say the APC can be taken for a ride indefinitely. These elections, I don't say them before, now a do or die elections for the APC. We determine for rescue with people. We determine for ensure say the votes of the people they count. And we go use all legal means at we disposal for ensure say we defend the people them, we defend their votes, and we defend their right to be governed by the government where they elect, and not a government or a party where they impose itself against the will of the people. We're not going to allow that.
Dr. Conte, somebody go say to you, nicely put. It look all nice on paper. But if memory can serve me well, I did remember 2018 elections. Them very people there, not quiet winner. They were challenged in court. Up till now, they don't list that case today. They never called that case. So how Wuna go believe, say, them very same people there, we're not respecters of law. Because you say, and you can clearly attest, say them people there to start with, while the process of electioneering they go on, then they change the law. And that is not right. That is not a good election practice for make them they change the law during the process. And even when they change the law during the process, the law when they change, they don't already propose say, then they go against them. So which guarantee they say, then go comply. And the people them who they lead, you know, since they won't say they listen. And me now
Which
one
law
of them
then change?
we don't
Which law then
say,
change? Which law then
we
change?
don't trust them people. The law will not go now the slaughterhouse.
Which law then change? Which law then change?
The law for do with the one where you mentioned, where they say, then for do the first check who side and vote.
No,
but then
I
say
mean,
they don't go do them.
no, you get them wrong.
Under the
Ezra.
Constitution
You dey get
92,
them wrong.
I think public, yeah.
You dey get them wrong. You dey get them wrong. Even constitution can be amended. Any act can be amended. For various reasons, they be decide for amend the old Public Elections Act, and we
Yes.
get the new Public Elections Act.
When the election process day,
and then do
we
them
go on.
within at the camp, and then do them within the time frame where they're supposed for do. They not break any provisions. Wait till they ask enough for do now for make them respect the provisions of the new act. And the new act is very clear in terms of where the district level certification for take place. And we as APC, they insist that they get for do that. Since the commission don't repeatedly state say they're not going to comply with that, rather then go do it at the regional level and make would they go to court, would they go to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And would they
Now
hope
that
say
make I
the
put am to
Supreme Court
you
will be the right interpretation.
So,
Now
Dr.
that make I
Conte,
put am
Iman,
to you
Iman,
say-
1 minute.
One
yeah?
minute.
Doc-
1 minute.
Yeah,
I put
yeah,
am to
go
you
on.
see. The new act, then do them where the election process they in progress. Because from when they give a date, when the dates come out, when we get lost them in place for elections. Now they then begin to think how they lost them, then go back to parliament, but go change something during the process. That is not good practice. Then do them. And now the very people that we're going to parliament, when are the ECSL, they say they don't want for comply to waiting, then go change. And this is exactly the question where I ask. How would I go believe with them kind, would I go believe that kind of people there where wishy-washy? On the one hand, then go to parliament, say them for change the act, so something new. Then when the company election term, then prepare for change, they change what then change. We the people that we worried. We very worried. And with the settle now, let we not go for this election until it is clear, say, all them things there, we for don't get a clear slate, say they don't do them right according to the laws. And we all, as people of the country, satisfied with our faith, say the election process is equitable, is equal, it is free and fair. But right now, There is lots of speculations. It's not a recipe for disaster. Wouldn't you think so?
I can come in now.
Yes, sir.
Imran, I sure say you know say I'm more worried than you about waiting to happen in Sierra Leone. And I don't state how worried we be and why would they take the action so they take. I want to make you understand the whole thing about governance. Just because we are not happy with waiting to happen, not mean say I go can't talk with you not correct. The law, the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance of 2001. Now, it provides, say, no country in West Africa, not for tamper with the elections within 6 months to the elections. The Public Elections Act then passed in a parliament before 6 months. So in terms of that process, it's okay. Waiting now the issue, and I hope say it will come out clear, now that we they insist that they comply with the provisions of that act. And one of those provisions that the district level certification for take place at the district level in the office of the district returning officer, and therefore make copies available to the party agents and observers who are present inside the office of the district election officer. That said, I want to make we also note say we they go to court on that issue. On the other issues where they don't raise, we also they go to court for compel them for release the voters register. At some point in this discussion, I will bring out some anomalies where we don't even begin observe inside the very data where ECSL then get for GIWI. Because we don't also, when there be the issue, the ballot papers, they been get what they call a journal. That na the paper we say will be the go sign. Where you take your card, you they sign. And that journal, it gets the details of all the people them we register. It will surprise you for no say, according to that journal, we get 55,200 underage voters. And waiting more worrisome, now the fact that between the 1st of January 2005 and the 24th of June 2005, they record, say, 55,000 people there, they're born there. And we will make them all qualify for votes in the next elections, and therefore they register them. We also discover, say, in terms of the first-time voters, then we get a total of 55,209 first-time voters that would register. Kenema district alone registered 18,432 first-time voters. Kailahu district registered 8,264 first-time voters. Bo district registered 4,699 first-time voters. The three highest.
Yes, Dr. Conte,
we lost not bad enough. We also
we lost you briefly on both their own calculation in terms of voter registration. If you can just repeat that and continue, sir.
Both first-time voters, 4,699. We also discover from the journal, for say, the oldest person where they register for vote in this election, he born in 1556. He born in 1556 in the journal. Now the old journal, the oldest person born 1556. And the youngest person in the journal, he born 2022.
Yes, me.
This now the information where they inside the journal at the time where they issue the voter cards. We don't hear it says until tomorrow they will give we the voters register.
Disaggregated list.
Yes, we don't hear it from the room of me because tomorrow we got the political parties liaison committee meeting. They say until they will give it tomorrow. If they give it tomorrow, we will analyze them back. And within 24 to 48 hours, we will come back. If you want to host me back, I will come back and can give you our analysis.
Definitely.
Because we don't already begin identify discrepancies. We don't already begin identify discrepancies between the registration figures and the figures at the point of issuing of ballot papers and of voter cards. And we suspect, say, we will even get more discrepancies at the point of the voters register, because when we do we last analysis, make I give you again figures. This will surprise many people. we discover, say, in they don't remove, but we'll confirm on tomorrow when we get the voters register that they don't remove on a net total of 1,695 names nationwide. And in the western area, urban,
Doc, repeat that number there. Repeat them. Let people read.
They don't remove it, they do a net reduction of 1,695 people. And in western area, urban alone, they remove 1,434 names from the register. In both
1,000 waiting.
they remove in western area urban.
Yeah.
Western area urban.
Yeah.
They remove 1,434. Kono, they remove 169. Kwenadugu, they remove 42. And so on and so forth. Kenema, they add 328. Pujahu, they add 136. Moyamba, they add 193. Yes. Bont, they add 113.
Wonderful. Obviously,
we wait, make them give it tomorrow the voters register, where we go confirm or even widen these suspicions. Now, don't forget, say, in their own very admission, they be say something they get for remove 257,000 people. So with the check, they say because now underage or overage or whatever it is. But we don't discover now, say, if any side they way underage suppose for the Kenema stand out uniquely, because Kenema alone gets a first time voters of 18,432. And that figure they almost higher than the total number of people that were born na Kenema district. But we go we review the data from UNICEF on the births and deaths, what they publish every year. We review that data today, and we also review data from NCRA, and we go tell Una exactly the magnitude of the problem. But this just want to make SLPP there no say no amount of secrecy, no day where they go try for use now the data system, we go stop we from getting the information we need to get. No amount of intimidation. They can sack as many as they want for sack, but we go still able for obtain information and expose the things that way they do, what we know say in all right, and we go through doubts. When I talk about the will not forgo into elections, it's true. But if we boycott the elections, for example, then go ahead and give themselves landslide victory and go ahead and amend the constitution and cause more harm on the country. We're not going to allow that. We go challenge them through the courts. We go put in place strategies for stop them from rigging, stop them from stealing the ballots. We go win the elections, and when we win the elections, we go correct the wrongs. God being our helper.
Okay, Dr. Conte.
Boy, I thought things were bad, but they're really worse. Something the way you tell me is, even a day in state of vexatiousness, I hear something where unable will be a laugh. I hear you talk, say the oldest person in Salone, he born the 15th century.
No, the oldest person in the register.
The oldest person born
we register for vote.
1500.
In the journal, 1556.
1556, now born, and the youngest
so it's
2022.
over 400 years old.
And the youngest 2022.
Yes. In the register, in the journal.
Yeah, but anyway, Dr. Conte, on a more serious note, sir.
1500s.
Yeah, many
people they want to take the citizens.
He's still there alive.
And they're really angry. How could you take your citizens for an ass?
Imran, after we get the voters register tomorrow, God willing, the next time where they come, I will tell you the name of the person. I will tell you the name of the person, the center where he register, who say he got for vote.
Well,
but what we can do?
We have a date with you for tomorrow then.
We need time to do the analysis. Let me get
exactly. So maybe Thursday, because we get a Famulem, this is an announcement to una all. We get the great Charles Magai on the platform tomorrow. Charles Magai will be on the platform tomorrow, 8 p.m. Please don't forget for signing. But Dr. Conte, you can come in on Thursday with that big information, but there's many revelations being made here today. But I want to ask, with all of what you reveal, so are you not concerned, or the party generally concerned, about time constraints? Because like I say, all of these, it also entail logistical problem, whether they want to go into voter ID, repeal laws, amend laws. It is not immediate for let something happen in 18, 17 days time. Is the party concerned about time constraints? Is that going to be an advantage?
We're very concerned. We're very concerned. And I go on from Mekuna no say, me not African Express, but I didn't small. I go also have Mekuna no say, we even get data on the 5 people them we submit bids for the printing of the voting materials, the ballot papers, and other materials related to that. Now, 5 people there apply, that they submit bids. The lowest bid now $1,665,435. $1,665,435. Then at the lowest. The highest now $6,688,312. But we understand, say, they award the contract to the South African company, where their bid price now $3,316,221. So definitely it is not the lowest, and definitely it is not the highest. But funnily, even though the person in bid price now $3,316,222 dollars, waiting date on the award letter now $3.9 million. So the question is, we said the $600,000 come out, but we go engage that. And as if that's not bad enough, we get a copy of the letter where ECSL writes to the company where they say go win the bid. Then call them the lowest responsive bidder. You know, and clearly when they write and so, it shows say they're very ignorant of procurement. You don't award a contract to the lowest responsive bidder. When you say lowest responsive bidder, it means that the person will perform poorest. We award a contract to the most responsive bidder, not necessarily the person will give the lowest amount. But when they say the most responsive bidder, then they consider the cost, not value for money, and other variables where they take into consideration for taking the shot. So then they award them to the most responsive bidder, not to the lowest responsive bidder. So that in itself, now a wrong thing where the commission in the letter of 29th May 2023, where they address to the bidders state. And that in itself should say they get serious challenges in terms of procurement. But that they are just the reason for make people they know, you see. And the proposed contract amount, now $3,990,746. $3,990,746. Even though the person wait and they give the contract in just say, "Will I pay me 3.3 million?" They say, "No, we left you too much. Will they pay you 3.9 million?"
This is unbelievable, Dr. Conte. It shows a high degree of either incompetence, unprofessional, or just outright reckless and no regard for the Sierra Leonean public, not a kind of management of the public purse. So now just give away money willy-nilly, tax money, and they say people are suffering, but now as a consequence of Ukraine-Russia war. Imran.
Well, Doc, here in Olentin there, I thought things were bad. After you take your time, you break things down to me. Honestly, being a person where normally I'm a very brave person, you have left me shaking. Honestly, all me goosebumps them, they out. I just cannot resist for say, waiting, I don't believe all along, say them for put an injunction, not for just go waiting. These elections cannot go on. And some of we, when a law-abiding people, when I say law-abiding, not so just for Sidona oath and be compliant, even though we think they're wrong. When I say a law-abiding, you also get to be compliant by holding people in power to account. So some of we law-abiding Sierra Leoneans, them looking at all these things where you don't break down, we make honestly be so rise that I'm afraid say if I continue for listening, I go develop hypertension. But I thank God so far I don't feel the need for take any medication for hypertension. But I want to put this to you. This then law-abiding people there, we include me, we don't decide say we go come out. When they do the petition, when are one of the things them where the Constitution say we can do, because protests they in many forms. A day in the form of demonstration, that's what they come, we can display with the satisfaction peacefully. We don't decide for go the route for do a petition. That means we have the right to the court and we have the go to court. Then the other petition, we for vote. Vote is a petition. But that petition day, even that day, it is under attack by the Sierra Leone people's problem. Because SLPP now officially in Sierra Leone people's problem. Because them people there, they don't make a criminal enterprise.
Imran, Imran,
And
will they archive that day and attribute that to you? Sierra Leone people's problem. Really?
problems, yes.
Yeah, carry on.
So now the CEO of the criminal enterprise, whether they run Sierra Leone, Namada Bio, and now Sierra Leone a crime scene. And we as citizens, we get the right to protest. I want to know how the opposition will support we. Because we know they go break the law. We just want to go out. Just like how Una said they go out in a court for go petition. Petitioning, protests in the form of demonstration. They are all protests. Voting are all protests. So we they go out for go demonstrate, for display with dissatisfaction. We horror for them kind of behavior they are, where them people they are decide for show we. And for tell them say we don't recognize the ECSL na crime scene. And we need forensic, thorough investigation. And before we could go into an elections, we don't mind if they delay for 3 months. But we they ask for free and fair. How the opposition will support we?
The APC as a party not take any decision yet for demonstrate. Will not take any decision yet for demonstrate. Una na an independent entity. You are Sierra Leoneans. Whatever line of action una choose for take, as long as it is within the confines of the law, now una right. Not to we go say una duan, not to we go say una not duan. We will only admonish, say una duan within the confines of the law. We as APC, we not take a decision yet, say we go out on the street. We they exhaust the legal remedies we available to we. When those ones fail, we go meet again as a party leadership and we go advise ourselves on which are the appropriate line of action for take.
We appreciate what you say. It's encouraging, but at the same time, Wuna na very important part in governance. Now Wuna they checkmate the government. Now Wuna na the alternative government. We do yeri an AIG where na a cadet train, man will get degree, when they call Brian McJah. He come out, he make a threat, not as a law enforcing officer, because we all know policing in most integral part na community police, where you the police by consent. He come na the public, he make a threat, so we as citizens of the country say, if we decide for exercise with democratic right for protest, when not so we make the mandatory, now the parts of the law now we learn where supreme, where Brahmadia they under, President Bio they under, Parliament they under, all man they under the Constitution. Now, with that right, they say we get freedom of movement, we get freedom of speech, we get freedom to associate, and we get freedom for protest. It don't come out publicly. It talks say, then go malhandle people them. And this government here, now a listening government, when at the contrary, who is he to make that decision? So I want to put on to you, sir, as the alternative government, the government in waiting una go reply to a man like that, what's supposed to be a law officer, we're supposed for protect lives and property, we're supposed for show equality, fairness, and in the way they discharge a law. And we want to know what is the law, the rule of engagement for policemen them, because I was so appalled. I don't know if you managed to see this video where they talk about. So we're not worried because we know say it within we right for come out and protest. But waiting the opposition will say about that, we go let for no.
Were they in possession of the audio or the video where contain the utterances from AIG Brahmajar? We find those utterances very, very unfortunate, and we don't escalate the matter to the appropriate levels. And we believe, say, then will be addressed. What I find a bit surprising now that Brahmajar now somebody will be attempt for it law. And if everything will go well for him, by now, if for the parade himself as a lawyer in this country, now he make those types of statements. But the advice where the APC they give to members of the security forces, now for say, you get a responsibility for defend the Constitution. Una not get a responsibility for defend one political party. Una get a responsibility for defend the rights and property of every Sierra Leonean. Una not get a responsibility for only defend the rights and property of members of one political party. Therefore, if una allow una self for make them give una unlawful directives where they in contravention of the relevant provisions of the laws of the country, and you go ahead and implement them, you will be held individually responsible for your deeds and your misdeeds. It not go suffice for say, oh, now directive I get. No. You get a right for refuse unlawful orders. Because as a law enforcement person, you also for understand the relevant provisions of the law. And so if you get an order where clearly unlawful, you also get a responsibility for refuse, for comply with that order. If you not do that, and you go ahead for enforce that unlawful order day, when the day of reckoning shall come, you will be held personally responsible for your deeds or misdeeds. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. I really appreciate that because that is very reconciliatory and very good for make the Sierra Leonean people and no say. We get the opposition where they monitor the way things they go. The only thing we I not quite agree with when it comes to person like Brahmajar now a student of political science, a degree holder from FBC. So his action, not unfortunate. It is calculated, premeditated. Now one way it do for personal interest. And I feel to say people like those, that behavior is a treasonable offense. Now man way suppose, as you rightly put them, for be booked under law and charged. Because it is so reckless now we country. Now the only country where policemen they come out talk say we support the government of the day. You are not there to support government of the day. You are there to support the constitution, support the people of the country, including the president and everybody therein. We have a community of Sierra Leoneans. We have a nation. Unfortunately, Sierra Leone will not get a nation. What we get a country, we get individuals. Everybody they doing your own things. Will not get values, collective values as a nation. And the principle where we all follow. But I am delighted for Yeriu. As usual, you came out, you spoke strongly, not out of sentiment, not out of your personal interest, but out of your responsibility as a politician. We respect the rule of law. Everything where you talk now exactly what's in the law prescribed, and we gladly In fact, the video where I talk about, you say when I get them in possession, that sweet in me, it shows say when I dey in gear, the fall are always in they happen. So we want to tell you thank you for that. But I want also tell you, say,
You want to
right now, we don't write to all necessary
let's leave that.
stakeholders. Then.
Call back in 1 minute. I'll take your call. Okay, then thanks. Bye.
We don't write to many stakeholders them. Even the people that they help we, because even with elections where they get in Sierra Leone, because some people in the talk say, Able, we not sovereign states, we not go show people them where they come for can monitor any documents. When people are prepared for realize if we not a sovereign state, we go able to pay for we own census, we go pay for we elections. 60% of the funding for these elections, the European Union, they pay for them. And what in Sankara tell we is say, who that they feed you, now they control you. If we not want let anybody control we for make sure say we able to provide for ourselves for do basic simple things that like them one day. And the people them we can support we with that 60% day. For that we do we elections.
Yeah, hold on, yeah. Okay.
Then they do them because they want a good election with good practice.
So we get the first caller on the line, Imran. If you can land with your question, I can hold the first caller. We'll get a first caller and Dr. Conte interested in calling in today. But you can land with your question and then we can bring the first caller out. I will just ask the first caller for hold on the line while she land with your question and Dr. Conte respond quickly, please.
Okay. So Dr. Conte,
so please hold the line, yeah.
The question is simply is 60% na European Union they pay. And then people in there very interested for let we improve with democracy. And then gladly with Sierra Leone, we don't be a leader previously. And they're worried where we don't tail behind by this new emergence of the Sierra Leone people's problem, their attitude. Now we know for say a cancer. So what you go say to the one when they talk for say, them people they are not get right for monitor them. We not a sovereign state.
Well, the world is a global village now. We all interrelated, one way or the other. Sierra Leone still largely depend on donors for our sustenance.
Yeah.
We just don't conclude the 7th review under the extended credit facility. Without that injection of capital from the development partners, we not survive. Because revenues what they generate not even enough for pay wage bill. That makes sometimes, as they say, now reckless arrogance. Now some people they can get where they can make those flippant statements. That clear, reckless arrogance, but it lack substance. The fact remains that with development partners, they're interested in the democratic process. They don't invest in the democracy. They don't invest in the peace and stability of this country. They're not interested in who they get for win. They're interested in the process. And they want for ensure say the process is free, fair, transparent, and peaceful, and the outcome will reflect the will of the people. We in the APC, we believe in the people. We believe in the track record. And we believe, say, we don't demonstrate to the people of this country for, say, we can respond to their needs. And we get the team, we get the experience, and wherewithal for deliver to the people which they want. And we get at the helm of affairs a driver in the person of Dr. Samora Kamara. We get the experience, the capacity for put together the team for deliver this country. And at that we believe, say, the people of this country get to choose. Whether they go choose APC, we get a track record of delivery, track record of infrastructure development, track record of peace and unity, or they go with SLPP, we get a track record of divisiveness, track record of tribalism, regionalism, human rights abuses, etc., etc. and a track record of suffering, economic stagnation, economic deprivation, economic ruin for the people of Sierra Leone. That is the stark choice where the people then get. I will believe, say, on the 24th of June, they will make that choice and they will choose APC. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks, Dr. Many thanks, Dr. Conte. And I'm Fambulem. This is the TNN TV Media Empire. My name is Prince Emil Kroma. They co-host the program with Imran Toure, and we get Dr. Richard Conte addressing very thorny, critical issues. And there are many revelations being made here tonight, as opposed to things that will not be known prior to this interview. So please listen keenly, govern yourself accordingly, because it's quite important. But it's also equally important that we interact with the audience, which we like for doing at this platform. So at this time, I declare, say, the phone lines are open. I see calls don't begin to come in. Let we listen. Of course, now the third one, this will not miss the first two. Let me take this first call and see what's going on. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Okay. The calls, they all jam, so we missed them all. But okay, there comes again another call. So there are over 350 of us watching live. It's an appreciable number. Please continue to share. Hello, caller. Yeah, caller, waiting. Hang on. Waiting are your name and who's you they call. Waiting are your name and who's you they call from.
Yeah, and they call from New York.
Dr. Conte, you there?
I know they clearly. Make you come closer to the mic.
Yeah, you need for speak up loud. You need for speak up loudly. You know, yeah, put them on your speaker or whatever. But you need for speak up loudly. Yeah, please.
So they say counting your not being at home, but they say the ID card. I don't know if you know take that as a case. Then one man doing in Pikili at one private school, doing Pikili on the age, you don't say they look for allowing people to vote because Pikili on the age. All of them say maybe they on social media, people will pay you. You know how the people will take that as evidence of on the age registration and also how the year will be saluting the type of registration. But they say it should get ID card. How people manufacture ID card, we don't know. So that is a serious concern for taking evidence, the crucial evidence for the Bible.
So Arun, you get any other thing other than they say? You get anything of substance other than they say?
No, people them don't show even in ID card and social media. When you show the ID card counting we don't get them. I will try for request form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Many thanks, Arun. Dr. Conte, don't take note. That's all right. Now you've made the point. It's all over. You still cannot verify it, but you've made your point, and hopefully, yes, now malfeasance or whatever way you want to call them, Dr. Conte will address that. But I just want to go to the second caller. Yeah, your point is noted. I see Dr. Conte take note. Yeah, no worries at all. Many thanks for the call, Arun. I appreciate that. Let me take the second caller. Maybe you can double up. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, this is Saiku John Barry. I call from Birmingham City.
Yeah, perspective, view, question, fire away, please.
Okay. Dr. Conte, we glad for the effort you make for come explain national issues, especially regarding the elections. You don't raise so many issues and concern with the way the main opposition, where you they represent when at the APC don't take up with the ECSL, but they are still refusing to listen and to do what you are asking them to do. And then first question, you not feel say the ground and the terrain no could be safe for go into elections if those concerns are not being addressed. That's number one. Number two, we follow what in the happen back home. Issues them they all over the place, especially in the southeast regarding to una members them in that part of the country there. Whose guarantee una get one for say una vote una get forget they will be protected, and also we don't hear about acid being thrown at people and then some people being chased out of villages. What you don't put in place for protect them people them and for make sure that they are free for exercise their franchise on the day of elections, whether or not don't put anything regarding that. And the other question as well, in the whole, like we don't see because well some people in the call una cry babies. But me no they call una, so I just tell una what some people they say. But now how guarantee, how prepared is the APC for going to these elections, and waiting at the guarantee say una go actually protect una vote, while at the same time una they protect una people them. And going to court, I understand a year back where you say una they go to court or something like that. If you use the conditional clause, if the judges then act fast. So waiting at the guarantee say the judges then go act fast, and then if they're not act fast, waiting at the alternative solution or steps una get. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Dr. Conte, I believe say you hear this caller very distinctly, is that correct?
Yes.
And the previous callers were so maybe you want to address that. He's yes. Okay now, he's done. And
make a answer.
There's another call they come in, but address this one, yeah.
Master,
you go ahead and address that.
Hello. The first question
back in,
about people that we register.
We call them call. Okay, then thanks. Bye. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
About people that we register without coming home. Now, the way we observe, and now I understand why they deliberately choose for use the 2017 data as the base for the voter registration and not the 2021 data. It's deliberate. Now, because if they be used the 2021 data, then sometimes they'll not be for capture. Plenty of the supporters, the way they out of this country, will not be there in 2021 for register. But what did they do actually now that anybody, as long as you be done register in 2017, your biometric data, they inside the system. Therefore, even if you know they can register you and bypass the question, the part where they require you for do biometric, for do your biometrics again. Then they bypass them and just okay, and then say you don't register. Now that happened, because now they get in control. The supporters them all over the country. They not be need for come. APC, we all supporters, they begin for fly into this country, come register and go back. But they don't come. We get a series of those reports about people that we register. I don't know what no more. We get scores of them. We get the information. We register without coming to this country. But that happened because the biometrics they inside the 2017 database, they just capture that information. They just and say they don't register. That's just verification they do, but without physical presence. The issue of the say the ground not safe and therefore waiting for do. We not say the ground not safe. We raise those concerns. We not say SLPP they're violent. We know that. We not say that they try for blockade the Southeast. We know that. We not say they try for use all kind of means for rig the elections. We know that. And we not say that they provoke we for make we decide for boycott. We not go boycott because we believe say we have the silent majority of the people on our side. We know say the people of Sierra Leone, they don't suffer enough and they have had enough of SLPP and therefore they go vote APC and they go vote change. And so we go into the elections and we believe so we will win. We go protect the votes and we go ensure that within this shortest possible time after the election, I mean, they say 24 hours before, but now the state categorically say in less than 24 hours after the polls, we go publish the results of the elections, how people they vote. We go make people that know how they vote. We go make people them get a feel of how the votes turn out. And if the votes that turn out for be in favor of the APC, I want for guarantee, I say this time, we're not going to allow anybody for steal with victory. I'm not going to disclose the steps where we go take for various reasons. I know say that they describe us crying babies. Yes, we cry because we're law abiding. And we call on our partners for make them understand the situation and make them intervene because they have invested so much in the peace and security of this land. If they not do waiting, we want for do, as I say, the APC, they review the options continuously. And we go advise yourself on which appropriate line of action we go take within the confines of the law. The court, we believe, say, go do the right thing. But if they refuse to do the right thing, we, as APC, get a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan F. And we go take the appropriate actions when necessary within the confines of the law for protect we votes and for make the votes of the people count. And we will also ensure, say, this reckless beating, throwing acid on people, brutalizing with people, it get for stop. And we don't make a border. This get for stop. And we pray and tell the SLPP, say, una not interpret we being law-abiding as a sign of weakness. We are not weak. We just love this country so dearly, and we never want for this country to go back to war. But clearly, SLPP, they put this country on a war path. But we pray that we partners go intervene and stop them from dragging this country back from which we don't come out, from the abyss where we don't come out. They don't do bad enough. We want to tell them thank you, made them left on 24th of June. Make this country breathe another sigh of relief.
Dr. Conte, many thanks for addressing those issues. But if I can just add quickly, it sounds like really half measured. I know you are tempered in terms of your statements because normally people in West you don't say you can go beyond that. But of course, it comes with responsibility as well. But there are many people in where they express their thoughts and their feelings, and it seems like it's genuine, and especially so with the question asked by the last person where you tend for address as to how these votes will be protected. But one critical thing where the last caller say is the clause where you use is conditional, which is if, and you and your party not get the luxury of time. And within the same statements the way you they make, you are expressing dissatisfaction as per the conduct of the institutions of the judiciary and others who are responsible for take actions or make pronouncements. But yet still, on the other side of the conversation, you are expressing faith in these same institutions where, I don't know whether you agree whether they had been state captured some time ago. Waiting again at the guarantee where you go actually provide for your people, your followers, your sympathizers, and the general Sierra Leonean populace as to the way forward within the context of what we talk about, sir.
The All People's Congress Party will defend our votes. We will use all legal means at our disposal for defend we votes and make nobody not underestimate the resolve of the APC. We will review all the options and all cards are on the table at the moment.
So what are these options where they contemplate these then legal options there?
I know they elaborate at this point.
Okay,
but all cards are on the
since we
table.
cannot elaborate, which is understood, again, we go back to the issue of time. So is there a possibility, let's talk a little bit of theoretics, but within the circumstances of the prevailing conditions, that if we go get for revert to all of these things, there is a possibility, I repeat, that the elections will either have to be postponed beyond June 24th or otherwise. Is there a possibility?
All options are possible.
Imran?
Gentlemen, I'm really privileged for seats with Una on this program, but I go get for left Una. Thanks very much, Doctor, for joining us. And I'm really looking forward for Thursday. Hopefully, for all being well, all being equal. Have a good evening, sir. And thanks for honoring our call.
Thank you.
Yeah, Fambule,
And my co-host, thank you, sir.
Iman get for left we because Iman has become a famous voice and a famous face. So he's been invited left, right, and center for intimating views and perspective now other platform there, which we very, very much appreciate. So therefore, it being for left we through this program at this particular point in time. Iman, can I say thank you publicly and many, your respect, for your contribution to this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Have a good evening.
Yeah, and you too. Dr. Conte, so here we are, sir. We get a few more callers. We will get back to them again shortly. But whilst we did on this, we really want, squeeze out the last juice out of the orange, because even though we hope we will get many opportunities of this kind, there is no surety, no guarantee, because anything you can. The litany of abuses, and this is where they get upset with this platform, but what we say here are facts, because you can quantify them, you can name them, you can point to them, you can touch them, they are there. Regarding violation, constitutional violations, sir, if you will, agree. The criminalizing, the crooking, the fixing of elections doesn't start now. It started years ago. It is known as the normative process. So election not to want no more than begin change this law and what have you. It has been ongoing. The muzzling of your party, the attack of the APC headquarters back then, when you were under duress, when you were being threatened and intimidated. The Bintumani conference, of which it appeared like there was no sincerity. It was just a bookcase, for make a point, say where we are extending an olive branch. These were like years ago. Up to this point, we've seen institutions after institutions being state captured. And you're not going to say the APC not complicit in some of these. We don't talk about some of these things, because for some of these rules to pass, you get party representation in parliament, and you're not the biggest party in parliament. But yet some of these draconian laws that we talk about, they did happen in real time. And at the 11th hour, this is what is critical now, Dr. Conte. The 11th hour, you are saying that you are going to put up a fight, but the fight where you plan for put up, even though all options stay at the table, but it's one which is going to be law-abiding. It sounds good for the books, but the same law could not protect you then. How confident are your supporters that this same law will prevent you from, participating in elections which you are hoping will be free and fair and returning you to power?
We are going to participate in the elections no matter what, because we believe in the resolve of the people of this country. You just need for data this country, and see, say, in 2018, a bag of rice will be less than 200,000. Now a bag of rice is chasing 800,000. When a bag of rice will be 200,000, the minimum wage will be 600. So which means the average person from a salary, he'll be able to get 1 bag rice or 3 bag rice. So at least he'll be able to pay, feed the host, and get something for pay transport, go work. Now your minimum wage cannot even buy you a bag of rice. The suffering where they happen at this country is unparalleled in the political history of this country. A liter of fuel was 6,500. Now it is 21,500. Every ordinary yabas, for one decent meal, you need over 10,000 yabas. You can no longer feed a household of 4 or 6 people with 100,000 and eat a decent meal. You cannot. You can no longer guarantee 3 square meals a day. Local transport don't hit the ceiling. People then get caught for the walk to and from work. They're on the way them place of work, not within miles radius. The suffering is too much in this country. And I believe, say, because of the suffering, because of waiting the people that they go through as a nation, they definitely will want a positive change in their lives. And I can tell people and say, part of the reason why God allowed them SLPP for come to power, for make people able to know the difference between SLPP and APC. I think say now everybody appreciate waiting a peace, waiting a unity, waiting a it mean for being a Sierra Leonean, and waiting it mean for being disadvantaged as a result of who you born, or your name, or your surname, or your political party affiliation. That not ever happened into this magnitude in the political history of Sierra Leone. Massive sackings of people. The only crime they commit is because they come from the wrong region, or because they get the wrong name, or because they belong to the wrong tribe. That is not right. That is why the APC is saying we have launched a one nation manifesto. Sierra Leone is one nation. Sierra Leone not for be divided. Every Sierra Leonean for be offered an unfettered opportunity for actualize their own potential. I make the first pillar of a manifesto now say we promote national unity and cohesion.
So, Dr. Conte, Dr. Conte, can I say thank you very much for veering off to the the manifesto, which is very
because the time they go, I don't make it left that day.
No, I agree. No, it's not. I get me notepad, so we're definitely coming to that. No, I get me notepad. When they come to that, we'll go talk about the 5 pillars of the manifesto. We definitely will come to that. But another quick question to you is, of course, you keep saying we will guarantee the votes of our electorates. In other words, the one that we vote for now, because there are question marks as to whether these votes can be guaranteed. And one of the callers did express that. But the question here is, while you keep, there's a call coming in, I'm sure it's for you. Let me take this call and reserve my thoughts. If you don't mind, sir. Come on. Okay.
Take time, oh.
Hello, caller. You want to participate on the program?
Yes.
Okay, if you can just state your name and where you're calling from, fire away, please.
Yeah, Timothy, I call from UK.
Okay, fire away, please.
Yeah, I did ask this question to Dr. Conte. I don't listen to Dr. Conte, and first of all, I appreciate him so much because I'm not somebody where I don't follow, and I believe say from the time we APC go opposition, now one person we I think I be always done the talk say it always stand there for the APC. First of all, I want to say kudos to him because in most of the by-elections, he has been very, very active. He did participate. And he be always in at the forefront, and he be always the advocate for the people of Sierra Leone. So before I go straight to my question, I just say kudos to Dr. Conte because now be a viable man throughout where APC the opposition. I think the people then don't ask some of the questions that we want to ask. But one thing where I just want to pick now the word now reassurance, because the people of Sierra Leone, they don't disadvantage them since the first day this government can have power. And as you rightly say, Prince, this election, the SLPP don't begin plan waiting they do so from the first day when they take power.
They don't disadvantage the Salone people them. They don't bully them. They don't sack them. They don't kill them. They don't beat them. They don't throw acid for them. And right now they're ready for a change. They believe it's the only alternative than the APC party. So the small question why they asked Dr. Conte, because he's a main stakeholder, although I will say he's not like a NAC member, but when he talk, the voice means something. And they talk responsibly, and they represent the APC party responsibly. Also reassurance. I feel say the people of Sierra Leone, they want reassurance.
Absolutely.
That
Correct.
if we turn up for UNA, how UNA will reassure we, because they all along, they don't feel disappointed, they don't feel say, oh, people that nobody not been there for them. Pass somebody way they somewhere where they make an audio for talk for the people of Sierra Leone. They want reassurance for their vote. They want reassurance for them turn up June 24. They want reassurance with the change who they want. So how the APC party will reassure the people of Sierra Leone when they turn up June 24? Thank you.
Many thanks, team, and I guess Dr. Conte capture your question and sentiment expressed very well. Dr. Conte?
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother, for the kind sentiments so you express. APC don't partake in a number of by-elections in the strongholds of the SLPP. And in all of those elections, we succeed for increase with percentage votes from under 5% to on average over 20%. And this now when we come against a situation wherein the SLPP, they concentrate all their arsenals in a small locality for ensure say APC not get any way. The people were still able to come out and vote. We did it in Kailahun, we did it in Kenema, we did it in Pujan. The same thing where we do in those by-elections, we go repeat them in the elections on 24th June. The same way where we succeed for stop the SLPP from stuffing ballots, now the same way we go stop them from stopping ballots on the 24th of June. No amount of intimidation will stop us. In 1996, even when the guns, there be the fire, the people of Sierra Leone will still go out and vote in the elections where usher in Tijan Kaba. The NPRC never wanted to leave. And we know Wudana be there at the helm of affairs in 1996. They never wanted to leave. They were shooting to scare people away, but the people still voted. They opted for democracy. Sierra Leoneans are a determined people. They are resolute. They know what they want, and they can stand for what they want. The strength of the APC is not in the money we have. It is in the sheer will of the people. And we are going to stand by our people and ensure that their votes count. And that is the reassurance we are giving you. We are going to repeat what we did in the by-elections in the Southeast. We are going to repeat what we did in standing up against them in Koinadugu. We're going to repeat what we did in standing up against them and winning in Samaya Bendugu. What we did in those areas to even retake a constituency in Samaya Bendugu that was SLPP and win it. We are going to do the same in the June 24th elections. We are going to retake power from the SLPP. We are going to win. All I want to appeal to Sierra Leoneans is that be confident, come out and vote, and let your votes count. Be your own keeper. Don't allow yourself to be intimidated. This is the time for you to reward the SLPP for the bad work that they have done in this country. I believe we have had enough of SLPP. Pauper must go. Enough is enough.
Okay, enough is enough. Let me see whether we get this other caller we able for reach him. Caller, are you there? Hello. Yeah, Shosi, you want to make a contribution to the program? I can hear you that you're listening to the background. If you can just turn the volume down to 0, identify your name and where you're calling from, and the floor is all yours, please.
This is Fuli Mustafa from Leicester.
Leicester, yeah.
Dr. Richard Conte mentioned the court. Well, I just want to remind them about a few things about the court. You know, say, the current president, the work with people the way he's happy, where you know, they could do what he wants. And this court don't prove him to 3 times, notably. The first one, now, where the petition, now, almost after 3 years, now in a collapse, the man don't rule already done. Now in a chaotic case, and you see how they do them outside. And secondly, they don't prove again during this PR system. Some of us who are not lawyers, the law see they only go to PR where constitutions they not do. This you no need for be a lawyer for PR activity. The court persons you don't do, the chief justice talk about other things, even advantages, even disadvantages of a system. And you go further for explain to una see, yes, they're right for do this kind of thing. Which of course, if they don't hold anybody responsible, that the next man if they don't hold responsible. For me, job for 5 years you cannot do. Where they pay everybody with the staff. Then put the judge, everybody thinks the court will talk see, we interpret the constitution as it is. If we now reply again on this court, you talk about, I think see, with all the precedents we are not set for una, some people come in our own advantage. Only when I think about this, you could be not just touch on the violence where people suffer. Make you know how desperate these people are for willpower. You see, all what the president does. Even when a campaign, they talk about, see, I don't reduce the suffering, they talk about, when I don't wait for APC, me, I'm not interested in the APC.
And let's start waiting at the points that we need for move forward, unfortunately.
Yes. So, even the lady, that old man, who go beat Nakenima for hang Samura Kamara in poster. What have you done for that old lady?
Okay, that's it. Okay, so
elaborate.
So Dr. Conte, you captured that, and the caller before this one, the problem is one of reassurance, because there are many people who have been persecuted, and it's well known.
I don't answer the reassurance question. I don't answer the reassurance question. This person start first for talk about the challenges we'll get with the judiciary.
Correct.
Where I believe say he's on point. I know the questioner. Unfortunately, that is what we have. And that is what we have to deal with. And the APC will exhaust all legal remedies at a disposal before we resort to whatever other options that are available to we. On the issue of what we don't do for the woman that we then beat with the poster, sure say every Sierra on social media knows say when they beat the woman Kenema, Ikam, Freetown, I take him in. He stay with me in my house with the entire family, 5 of them, for weeks. We take care of them until we able to get them for go into exile in Liberia, outside the day at the moment. We hope say after elections, then we will come back and resettle that home na Kenema. But these are some of the reasons, you know. And today I see a video where President Bill, I don't know whether it's a slip of tongue or now really now God say na a for talker. He say any woman where they vote for, what is it? SLPP. Yes, it say any woman where they vote for SLPP, that woman, there's something wrong with her. We get the video from President Bio himself. I think say now God make it talk the truth, because women, they don't suffer too much under President Bio. Therefore, any woman will go vote for President Bio, that woman there, something wrong with her. Make her play the video. Hey, the voice not come out. Now that happened. You know. But I will play her back. It said any woman where they vote for SLPP, something wrong with that woman there. Not to me talking about that President Bio himself on the campaign trail. Now, in God use for send a message to the women of Sierra Leone. And I think now as a result of which women don't suffer, you talk about the time when they attack by the party office, you see how they brutalize women them, to McKinney, to Tumbo, to Bond, to Pujahun, to Kailahun, to Kenema. We see how they don't put women them under repeated suffering, repeated brutalization. And so President Bio himself can now and talk say any woman will go vote for SLPP, that woman there, something wrong with her. You know.
Any woman you did at this country vote for SLPP, something wrong with you. Any woman you did at this country vote for SLPP, something wrong with you.
Not to me talker. Now President Bio talker.
Can you play that one more time, please?
One more time.
Goodness me.
Any woman you did at this country vote for SLPP, something wrong with you.
Okay.
Any woman you did at this country vote for SLPP, something wrong with you.
Thank you. Continue, sir. So, but continue, Dr. Conte.
So now that's not the issue. We go do we best. We go today, Seth, we get some people that would brutalize our bond. And when we go meet with the international community, we carry them go. And the human rights officer for the UN interview them and then document them. Some ambassadors then talk to them, then document them. We are, and this woman would have been beaten at Kenema, it be also go to the Irish embassy, is meet with the Irish ambassador. So we are documenting these issues. And I tell you, say, the day of reckoning shall surely come. And I not believe, say, the lives of the people them where they don't kill for going in vain. We get also another video who say President Bio on the campaign trail. He say, he no go kill again. He no go kill again. We get that video there back. You know, waiting that the message where if they try for portray, where say no go kill again. I don't know. Is this suggest that he has been killing? I don't know. But he said he no go kill again. And we tell her, thank you. Do you have not kill again? Now in talker again, the video day, you know, just like how I don't play this one. In Inside Talker on the campaign trail, you know, and they don't say so many things. I mean, the first lady would not see, we say, he go cut man their private parts and make them barbecue for them and give them for them eat. You know, see, these are all the types of statements we're not supposed to come from that level. But APC, not they respond, not they react in like manner. Because we not believe, say, it right. We value every woman in this country. We value every man in this country. We value every Sierra Leonean, and we believe in the rights of every Sierra Leonean for live a peaceful life, for actualize the fullest potentials, and for express yourself without hindrance.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is now the Then and Now TV Media Empire, in short known now as the T&N TV Media Empire. Today now the 6th day of the 6th month. In other words, the middle of the year now they will do so. June the 6th, 2023. We are having a conversation with a voice well known, a voice very much responsible, a voice very much organized, a voice very much at the end of the stick, as at this time in opposition. Once upon a time, a government official, in none other person but Dr. Richard Conte. And as elections, they loom very, very close, and the boiling point, we don't reach there. And we need to understand a lot of things where they happen along the way. And many of you get questions. The lines are still open, by the way. Dr. Richard Conte is very happy to take questions, perspective, reflection, views, analysis from the general public. But we're happy in itself that we get Dr. Conte and they address very important issues. There are over 350 of us watching live this program, both on Facebook and YouTube. Please continue for share as we go into the second and probably final phase or lapse of this very interesting conversation. If anything we don't left out, feel free for make you comments. We go publish the comments as soon as see what they do, regardless of where you are coming from with your comments. Just make sure say it is respectful, not disrespectful of either the platform or the guest. This is the T&N TV Media Empire. My name is Prince Chroma, and don't touch that dial. Okay, family, and once more, welcome to the T&N TV Media Empire. We are having a conversation with Dr. Richard Conte. You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. Then the application and direction, they are already out there. So please help for share. We also they ask Una for kindly like or follow we page them, both on YouTube and WhatsApp. We get pages on a lot of social media platforms, and this include Telegram, and we have a Twitter account as well. Please like or follow our page. We can't be having like 5, 10, 15,000 people watching a program and you only have 50 or 100 likes. Something just does not add up. So they ask Una, please do. Once again, we're having conversation with Dr. Richard Conte. Dr. Conte, the plan for this program today was to talk about the One Nation Manifesto. But of course, between the last time where we talk, when you make a declaration, what I want to ask you before we move on to the main topic today, we'll be supposed to talk about the One Nation Manifesto. Many things, change along the wayside. In other words, the situation remains fluid. Elections and all the other things that we don't address tonight still happen. Just before we go to the One Nation Manifesto, you said the last time, and I want to put that caption there on the still page, something where you been said the last time. Something where you been said the last time, sir. Okay, I think we got a call from Freetown. Hang on, sir. Let us see whether we can take this call from Freetown. We want to hear it from we brother them, here on the other side.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, we hear him. We don't hear over and over, and we go for a replay. But we get a caller. We get a caller. Hold the line, please. Yeah, hold the line, please. Yeah. So we have a caller from, I believe, the home front in Freetown. And seems like a first-time caller. Don't know this caller. But caller, if you can identify yourself and who you call from, and the floor is all yours, please.
I'm Freetown and they call for Waterloo.
Waterloo, wow, Waterloo. Hello, Waterloo. How do they do? I hope all is well. And what's your name, please?
Alhaji Yaya.
Alhaji Yaya. Okay, the floor is all yours.
Now, me and the group, I see no more. I let me the group. I make a call. I don't know if I will group. I don't know how manage join me.
Oh, okay. Okay, Alhaji, you get any question? We understand what you say, but you not get any question or sentiment for express on the issues that we already talk about, elections and many other things. You didn't know what allow the election they come. I sure say you get a view about things the way they happen. We will join you later. Yep.
Okay.
So you not get no view, no reflection, no analysis, nothing.
These things so they go. Because anything we matter my way you get here, you go see. They say I know the truth, but you know the ways. Maybe this election, I saw say another deal they win.
Okay, you this election, you sure seen a mother building.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else?
No more.
Okay, no more.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we tell you very thanks. I mean, for taking the time off, for making a contribution. You're entitled to your view, and we respect that. And thank you so much. We go try for joining the group, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, then thank you so much. Bye-bye. So, Dr. Conte, as we been saying, the last time we talked between then and now, as if you look at the how you call it, na the platform, the front page, we'll not put them in quotation marks. Of course, that was in error, but these were your exact words. And I repeat, the APC will win the June 24, 2023 general and presidential elections. Of course, attributed to you, Dr. Richard Conte. But that was like almost a week ago. The discussion slightly different. Is there still the confidence, or are there caveats around this pronouncement where you be made with so much confidence? Because are they believe say you still believe say they will win, but there will be conditionalities as to that winning. They were asked when you say on the last time, whether or not time not be there for you articulate whether conditions. Okay, there's another call, Dr. Conte. Hang on, sir. Hello, caller. Hello. Yeah, you want to make contribution to the program?
Yes.
Okay, hold the line, please. Okay, caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from, please.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. This is Ahmed, right in the UK.
Okay, Ahmed, waiting at your contribution, please. Question for Dr. Conte. Perspective,
yes,
analysis.
Well, yes, I just want to tell you thank you, for the good work you do, and once again for telling Conte again for coming into the program. At least for highlight some of the problems. The problems, like I said at the forum, I think every blind person as alone knows the problem today. Every blind person as alone knows the problem of the country. Of course, the previous callers make mention of Mother building. In my opinion, actually, but any meaningful person as alone today, what did they happen? Go want for me then this kind of thing continue. Any meaningful person. I'm not talking of party coloring here. Say you go for BAPC or whatever party. Let's look at the country today. What did happen? We grew up during the war time when we were young until the war finished, until we see different governance systems. That day we go school, that is more food and before we move from the country in Kamnaya. Believe in me, we know they ever experience what happens today. All the sectors then just, when I look at today, what did happen? I just look at the regime of Jamaica and Gambia before. Although what's like what even the happens in Salon. Because actually we try to get the people that hard to do some 2-3 things there, but only that them undermine killing journalism and stuff like what you will be so. That's what Jamaica be the opposite. So now they of course who can't be young or grow, there are a lot of stuff in the Gambia. So now they can't pattern and do this. But this time the worst time is in Asylum. Please, I tell you, who shall we grow up? Who we different from, we know the terrain of the whole country, we see how governance system they work. Believe me, these are the worst families. So what are they saying now? I want to just ask Mr. Conte, what did they get? What did they plan? How they really try to tackle? Although I'm not sure they explain a lot how they will tackle some of the issues there, but some of them are not still convinced as to how they go to election, because this will not ever happen. We'll not ever see any aggregated data for so say this and this and this 9 for votes. They yesterday I talked to one friend, we convert a one forum. I mean, they make an old do because I mean they have been for analyzed to the forum that will not go into demonstration at this point in time. And the guy in Freetown is sending some audio on he's sending audio at the forum. They say, oh, Ahmed, because you didn't go on and stuff, we did now. Then I therefore take the back. All them. This is I pick. Fortunately, he pick. I say, my brother, happy because you reply me with no cost. I love that. Meanwhile, it says I get a lot of sisters and siblings. I get mine in the police, and in the army and stuff. I know the system.
Okay, Ahmed. Yeah, the question for Dr. Conte.
Watching it, I was telling you, it's easy out in West. They don't even get card. They don't get card. I say you have the voters slip. You say yes. I say then go return. Say because don't go to the center. They don't even get an ID card. So you don't get nothing. So why didn't go vote? I say nobody I vote. I say just hold it on. So these are the problems here. So Mr. Conte, a lot of people then get them problems there. They register. They cannot get card at all. So they get some, they get sleep. So how will I go address all of them problems they are with all of them fraud they are when they go on? Because today, look at a large number of people don't even have card, and these people are ready to vote. Well, how are they going to vote? The ECS man say if you get card, you go. If you don't get cards, you go vote. But how? If face no day, how will trust the process? How about you go with an ID card and anything card to vote? Your face is not there. Why if it is not to vote? This time will bring problem to matter. So how this party, Mr. Conte, on our party, how will they go with the confidence with the people and people are ready for camp out for votes? Who we know will get a large number of people that will follow every day. But how are they going to vote? But if they go vote, whether they vote and go in vain, they can't now say this man I win. Because me for sure, as no I tell you, no matter if you go to the election with a pure democratic process, it is lost clean.
Yeah, and waiting at the final question for Dr. Conte, Mohamed.
So now that, so I want to make you address.
No, it don't ask the question. I can answer now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still a flow. So
yes,
yeah.
How them people they are, they will get confidence. They will get ID card. When they vote are sleeping, how they go to vote, and how they will tackle this problem of this voter aggregation. That people will get confidence that will energize them for go out and vote rather than stopping the process. Many people then demonstrate largely. It's not about APC, it's not about SLPP. This is about the people of Sierra Leone, the ones that take the process.
Okay.
So we want to stop them from not going to the street. They are not leading the process. People they want to come out, and some of you are ready to support them.
Okay, Mohamed. This is really brilliant. Really brilliant. A very pertinent question where you really kind of ask. And Dr. Conte, I believe, say he capture your flow. And you're about to address that. Dr. Conte?
Yeah, the question is simple.
You're welcome, brother. Bye-bye.
He said, if person gets sleep, will not get card, I go vote. May go to the center with his sleep, he go vote. Because on the voters register, in face, in details, go there, and then go ask them some questions. Your mama, your name, your papa, your name. Then go, and they go see your face. Like the voters register, so they will allow you for votes. So whether you get a card or not, as long as you be registered, if you get any form of identity, go with them. But if you don't get any form of identity, go with your face. Go to the center, say I be registered, but I not get card, but I can't vote. Then go check the name where they will give you name. They go check for your name. Then go check your picture. Then go ask you a few questions about your personal details, and if you confirm them, you can still wait inside the form, inside the register, then go allow you for vote. They're supposed to allow you for vote, and we go get people them around, we go assist for clarify this issue in case of any controversy. If any issues the day, we'll get a situation room and we go make public the lines. You go call there and we go intervene immediately. We also get a call center. We're going to call around for check on waiting they happen for ensure say we do on top of things on polling day.
Okay. I think that was a brilliant question asked by the young man, because this is very informative, for people out there, and many people are confused. You get one and you don't get the other, or you don't have both. But the idea is, when I hear from Dr. Conte, if at some point you've been registered, but you not get your ID card, you can turn up on the day, maybe with some form of voter ID card, some form of ID, if I get you right, and the person go explain himself, say, well, I be registered, mean a so person, Santi say from number 5, Poti Junction, and etc., and therefore able for pick you up na that particular aggregated list. And I think now this make the aggregated list very important, isn't it, Dr. Conte?
Yes, but it will be available on that day, and with the hopes that they'll give you tomorrow.
But you say it will be available. Okay, it will be available on the day of voting.
Yes.
But una the hope say by tomorrow una go don't get that list.
Yes.
What happens if una not get on tomorrow? What happens if una not get on tomorrow?
We'll cross that bridge then. We can talk about on Thursday.
Okay, Dr. Conte, you've said very much, sir. Let me move, here to the One Nation Manifesto. Obviously, the One Nation Manifesto of the All People's Congress, it embodied 5 pillars. And then 5 pillars, then in our one for that we talk about. We not get much time, but we will establish a specific program as was planned before for talk about the One Nation Manifesto, because it's very, very important. But the pillars of these 5 the 5 pillars of the Manifesto 2023, One Nation from the APC, involve national unity and cohesion. And we go talk about the other 4. I want to talk about them one by one. So I'll be one for that. We'll begin with pillar number 1, national unity and cohesion. So if you can break that down for me, why did it come to that point? Are we this much divided that the party has to address issues around national cohesion, which imply there is this division and the gap is getting wider, and national unity or not just the emblem where every nation is supposed to embark and embrace?
Anybody where they in Sierra Leone over the last 5 years don't know say the divide of this country is also wide. And they be interview the president on television. Now himself say not to insert the division.
Yes.
One day from colonial days, they get Mende line, they get him the line. Now you understand it. That
was unfortunate.
But the fact of the matter is that this country, it don't polarize in ways where it not ever happened. You're unprecedented in the history of this country. We see how they don't sack people just because of who said they come out. And we just see how people do not feel themselves a part of the governance architecture any longer. I would believe, say, if we get for redeem this country, if we get for get a fresh start, we get for start with healing those wounds, bringing everybody together, make we all feel each other as Sierra Leoneans, make we all feel so we can get a space where we all can come and contribute to national development. So national unity and cohesion is key to the overall agenda for redeem this country and rebuild this country, put back on the right trajectory for development.
Yeah, very correct, Dr. Conte. And is that applicable not only blaming the SLPP per se? And if I catch you drift well, it's like that gap, they don't seem for the widening, and national cohesion don't become more of a questionable thing as at this period in time. But it's not something new, is it?
What thing they happened over the last 5 years is unprecedented. And we therefore put a stop to that and bring everybody together back and move forward.
So going back when the SLPP just take over power, there was a conference, the B293 conference, and you are fully aware. And in theory and practice, as we understand them, Now for let them for me make some, overtures to the other side. In other words, I capture you. The other side, and we can answer them shortly. And the other side, but the APC not been take that opportunity, for go speak to the SLPP for get this national cohesion way they speak about now the manifesto. How was it?
It's a national cohesion, a process, and there should be genuineness and sincerity in it. There was no desire for get the APC on board, and there was no consultation with the APC on board. And in this stage managing of things, look, even 2 weeks ago, when the seller go sign a peace pledge, the APC, they tell me, say, they prescribe who that each party for go with. So the APC will just go the leadership to the ceremony. Only for them go reach day, we meet the whole flop with SLPP members. If I now look at it, we say, thank God we not bring members that I are, because I've fed for local for Donaya. Because the way the SLPP people they behave in that ceremony, if the APC people themselves, who have been go with 1,000 people into that hall that day, a different story. I believe say even the peace pledge will not be for sign. So there is similar setup with our launching of the Commission on National Cohesion and Peace, Sierra Leone. I mean, we believe say the process. Me in my previous life, me have been a UNDP consultant where I go at the Caribbean, Guyana, for example. Let me do the midterm and the final evaluation of the social cohesion program in Guyana. So when I come here as a minister and Michael Schulenberg been there as SRSG, and we'll be very close, and we'll be discuss the whole issue about how to bring this country closer together. And so I tell them about this program where we get in Guyana, and I tell them who I be the manager of that program, and they begin to invite the manager of the program in Guyana for Kana Sierra Leone and can help for initiate the process for set up this program in Sierra Leone. So the APC was part of that initial process. It was meant to be a consultative process, not to the initiator. Me, Kimpost, say, I had a hand in it. Under the reign of Michael Schulenberg, we brought in here the manager of the program where we go evaluate in Guyana. And I sell up to the then Peace and Development Advisor will be in a UNDP. And so we started that process, but they not be see it through. And so when they come, they pick them up for move and through. Fine, but if we don't continue in the same spirit where it been start for say now an all-inclusive affair and not a partisan affair. And so even in the choice of the composition of the commission, then before make it reflect that national character, so that everybody will feel himself a part of that architecture and not make it just be another partisan issue. So they missed the point from the get-go.
Okay, Dr. Conte, pillar number 2 talk about fixing a collapsed economy. I mean, it's almost like laughable in a different sense, because when the SLPP assumed power, they accused your government of having left a broken economy. In fact, they said a collapsed economy, a bankrupt economy. But during the few months that followed, we noticed gradually that there was some, I don't know whether for call and correction, but a change of the language in which a near collapsed economy, a near bankrupt economy, as opposed to a bankrupt economy. But now you're saying, you're like fixing a collapsed economy. What exactly mean, sir?
Make a first start for state say, the fixed economy based on propaganda. SLPP, they become the people that will use propaganda for fix the economy. They work. The governor of the Central Bank of Sierra Leone states say we've been left over $500 million na the reserves, the Bank of Sierra Leone. Money available for use. We will also get reserves will be up to 6 months of imports. They count the country reserves based upon how many months of imports that reserve they able to finance. And the reserves will be get at the time we left, it be more than 6 months of imports. And also, the growth rate, even though because of Ebola, the growth rate of the economy be don't go to -20. But at the time where we become, because of the measures where we put in place.
You can continue with the
Because
audio.
because of the measures where, yes, sir.
Oh dear. Yeah, continue,
because of the measures where we put in place, we be able for quickly climb back. And as at the time where we've been the left office, we've been there close to 4% growth rate. So if you say that now a collapsed economy, that I wonder how we will describe this one now. Where for the first time in the history of Sierra Leone, one businessman from Kwedadugu, he said in all in childhood life, he said the money na Guinea not ever value past the money na Salone. This is the only time where the Leone, in fact, the funny thing, I just come out Guinea. The old Leone, he value past the new Leone na Guinea. And $1 na Guinea na 900 Guinea franc or 880 Guinea franc. $1 na Sierra Leone na 2,420 leones. So, and if you go change 1 million leone na Guinea, now 400,000 they give you. Now 400 Guinea franc they give you. If you go to 1 million leone, now 400 Guinea franc they give you. That is how bad things have gone. I don't need for repeat all the talks. So it is that situation where we feel say untenable for the people of this country. And so we therefore take steps for make sure say we stabilize the economy, we reverse the decline in the exchange rate, make the leone strong again against the dollar, and we go do that through various measures, exports, improvement for exports, improvement for value addition, and all of those types of things. And we go ensure say we reduce prices. We also not believe say the rate at which that they how to talk this up. The rate at which they just increase taxes. Read the Finance Act of 2023. Then they say when you count your 2 suitcases na lunge, then they open up and check out. If it is all inside, they pass $500, you for pay for the other one. Ebo. Now, apart from all, when you don't buy your ticket with all the taxes where they don't make it Lunge Airport the most expensive airport in the whole world. On top of all of that, when you reach again, then they thief back $25 at your airport. Ebo, all of these things, when we meet with the IMF about a month ago, we tell them, so whilst we agree with the broad framework of the program and we committed to them, we don't capture them in the Finance Act, in the One Nation Manifesto, but there are certain provisions like the Finance Act of 2023 where we will review immediately when we come into power, because that act is against private sector development. It's against business. And we believe that the private sector now could be the engine for economic growth and prosperity in Sierra Leone. And so we therefore come up with a program where we allow the private sector to flourish. May they make money, may they invest, may they expand, may they employ more people. Then we go tax them reasonably and use that money for finance capital items. Currently, they don't get any finances for capital expenditures.
Yeah, but well said, Dr. Conte, but you begin to turn the government as well. Did you do that?
Yes, we did that. That's why I told you about how we left the economy.
Brilliant. So, because of time constraints, of course, I have to let you go. But we just get 3 more things for cover, which are the 5 pillars of the 2023 manifesto. We just don't talk about 2. I want to take you to the 3rd one, which is about accelerating investment for our people. What does that exactly mean?
It will take a whole range of issues. 1, we support small and medium enterprises. We support small and medium businesses. We support the market women. We create a special fund for ensure, say, we people away there into business, make them flourish, because access to capital like big hindrance to their businesses. Then they charge them exorbitant costs when they go take loans. It's not attainable. We've been start that when I was Minister of Trade. We set up the SME fund. We give out loans to farmers, to business people at 5% per annum. We're going to expand that framework and ensure it happens. We will create a special fund for youth development, for startups, and we will create a program for train young people in startups, in entrepreneurship, so that they go start and make themselves self-employed and be creative. We get plenty Sando and other young boys. We see our boy when they make keke. We have to invest in these people for me to be able to expand on those things and try for send this country forward. We get for help. We get a special scheme even for we youth so they go university. Under we administration, we're not going to allow any youth for drop out of university because in papa or in mama will pay fees for them. We'll get a scheme. We're going to ensure say that type of education can be financed, and we will work out. We go bond them and work out a scheme where we go sort of going forward. This is how some of us studied in this country before, and we're going to do it again.
So let me ask you on that particular issue there, because it's easier said than done. And I should say, even out of government, you will agree, because when you were in government and you implement all the policies there, it did come at a cost. So how do you intend for cost such projects, Dr. Conte?
When APC was in power, we've been financed over 80% of all students when they go to university. And then we give scholarships to 80% of all when they go university. And then they exclude the one that will get granted aid. Then they exclude the fact, say, every woman when they go university and go study the sciences, they get automatic scholarship. Every physically challenged when they go university, they get automatic scholarship. That was under the APC. And we get the same program for primary and junior and senior secondary. So the addition will be very minimal. And we believe, say, the benefits from who will generate from that, empowering our young people, go far outweigh the investment. And we go finance that by cuts in government. Leaders say the size of government is bloated. Too many commissions. We need to rationalize them. Too many jobs being created in State House. We will cut down on all of those wasted expenses and use those resources for finance these types of programs where will benefit the people directly. And we think so we'll get enough resources for finance that with extra for capital investments.
Okay, Dr. Conte, many thanks for that. Again, we come to the final two, and the fourth one will be on job creation and living wages. And before you attempt for answer that, there is so much propaganda around this particular area. And this is contesting governments, both the past and the now. But since we deal with the now, the current government talk about creating 2 million jobs. To this day, we don't know how many they've created and the value of those jobs that they will have created. And the issue about living wages as well is also an issue of great, contention. Living wages, 600,000. Where I think now want to initiate that, but one bag of rice don't cost an entire month's salary, if not more. And the people are really, really suffering. So hence you've come up with job creation and living wages. The last government said 2 million. Now, even when they come to this new election and they tell we say not 2 million any longer, but thousands of job creation. What thing you go do differently? How will you go about
different? Different at that. We not believe say that government get for directly be the employer. We believe say the private sector get for be the engine for economic growth and prosperity.
Yeah, but
and these jobs will be. I'm coming. And these jobs will be created.
Dr. Conte, you tell me a little bit more about the private sector. Yes, it's not just words. The private sector is supposed to be the engine for propel this employment.
the private sector now for create the jobs. So therefore, just like we did when we were in government, we will be able to attract the private sector to this country, and we increase, we rankings in the ease of doing business index, and make this country the 6th most improved country for ease of doing business when I was Minister of Trade. And we'll be able to attract, when we host, for example, the investment forum at Sierra Leone, we attract over 300 investors. When they come, we go also look at the whole incentive regime, the whole investment climate. How can we guarantee people's contracts? How can we ensure that execute the function, the import-export processes? How can we ensure that when there are commercial disputes, the fast-track commercial court can function well? How can we ensure that once people sign contracts, they are guaranteed that those contracts will survive? How can we ensure that there is peace and stability? How can we ensure there is power? There are social amenities. How can we ensure that there is a fiscal infrastructure, the banking system, for being strong enough for able to support the private sector? These are all things where we go put in place. You don't need money. These are all things where policy directed and a commitment from people who understand what need to be done. And we'll do that. The private sector will come, they will invest in the economy, they will create the jobs. We also committed to saying that we will add value to we produce. We're not going to export raw. So we local produce will be processed, even with minerals, we will add, we will do beneficiation, we will do value addition, and we will ensure say when we do that, we'll generate more revenue. We also ensure say when these investors come, we will ensure say all their procurements for be originated locally through commercial banks. Presently, the investors come, they keep the money abroad, they come here with pittance. When they want to buy cars, want to do big capital procurement, they do it through their banks abroad. It's not going to happen under our administration. They will have to originate their procurements locally. And we also going to ensure, say, when then they export with minerals, therefore repatriate some of those resources to Sierra Leone. So we know what needs to be done. We will initiate those processes, and we will continue on that and expand on them, and we know say it will work. These things have worked in Ghana and other countries. They will work in Sierra Leone.
So who was the highest employer then in the country, and who is the highest employer now? In other words, is it the private sector or the government?
When I was Minister of Trade, I start the process. I bring together the NRA, the NACIT, the Ministry of Finance, Statistics Sierra Leone. Let me do a survey.
Dr. Conte, it's a simple, straightforward question, sir. During your tenure in office, not personally for your government.
Wait for me, make I answer the question, my friend. I'm not just giving yes or no answer.
Time constraint.
But let me get kind of time constraint.
Yeah, exactly. I feel for you.
I want to let people there understand. I'm not just one for talk. I can say yes or no. You don't mean nothing.
No, it does mean something because the answer has to be,
Dr.
Conte,
the government has always been the largest employer.
Well, exactly. Then you can deliberate on that now. Yeah.
But the magnitude is different. During our times, there was also the private sector that was increasingly employing and having well-paid jobs. So that's why I tell you, say, we will do an analysis on an incremental basis with a target for ensuring that we change the narrative from government continuing to be the leading employer to private sector taking over. And that is what we are going to continue with when we come back to power, because we believe, say, we will only succeed in strengthening the economy when the private sector becomes the largest employer. And then when the private sector employs, they will pay taxes to government, and we can use that for capital investments.
Okay, Dr. Conte, many thanks for that. The fifth pillar is one on investment in physical and digital infrastructure. Of course, we do live in a digital world, so investment in that sector there is key and important. But even this government has made much more emphasis on investment in the infrastructure there and etc. Do you disagree, or there's a different way that the
we not intend anything way that they do way good, we will continue with them. Anything they do way good, we will continue with them. Anything way bad, what they do, will change them. And so if they are doing well in the digital infrastructure space, we are going to build on that. But definitely in the physical infrastructure phase, We get a track record in that, and so we're going to invest more in it.
Okay, Dr. Conte, one final question to you, sir. Is there are many concerns out there, as obvious in the few people that we call the program here tonight, which is about reassurance and etc., etc., etc. But it all rotates around that, sir. There seems to be two sides, if not more, coming from the All People's Congress. And if we listen to you keenly, you advise, they speak to that. So there is one side from we observation where things say, if we can describe them as taking the bull by the horn, because there is no more confidence in the judiciary, the judicial system, because it seems to be compromised. But the liberal forces within the All People's Congress, the salient voices, the voices for reason and hope, are saying, listen, guys, we need for exercise patience. We need for maximize whatever way we want for stretch the rule of law, but we need for go through the rule of law. In other words, complain, but we cannot take the law into our own hands, which make absolute sense. But the point I'm trying to make, Dr. Conte, is one side seems frustrated now and seem to say, well, we've had enough of this. We need for bring the people out and contest whatever. Where exactly do you stand or the party stand as at this moment?
My understanding that the one that we want for come out are not necessarily intending to come out as APC. They are coming out as Sierra Leoneans, or they intend for come out as Sierra Leoneans concerned about the threats to the democratic process that the country and the likely negative ramifications. And so that they intend for come out for say, no, or enough is enough, and they call for a change. They are not necessarily doing that under the banner of the APC. We as APC have not reached that decision yet. We as APC want to exhaust all the legal remedies at our disposal. When everything else fails, we will advise ourselves on the other options that are available to us. That's why I said, for now, all cards are on the table.
Dr. Conte, many thanks for your participation on this program. With the hope, say, the things that they seek for going into the election will be available or made available to you guys soon. And as soon as I get them, as you've made a promise, and I promise a debt, if I can remind you, and I know see you do know that, you'll come back to the platform for this. But we want to give you the honor and respect again and with the general Sierra Leonean populace. Solio, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sierra Leoneans. As we go forward and look forward to the elections in 18 days' time, I want to make we put Sierra Leone first. These options were available to we declare. We could choose to continue with the suffering of the SLPP or with the hope with the APC they present. We in the APC believe say we now people with one identity, we are Sierra Leoneans, and we believe say we all can work together for building a better Sierra Leone. We want to promote national cohesion, we want to promote unity, we want to ensure say the ills of the current economic landscape, we will reverse them and we get the expertise for that. We want to ensure say we invest in people them. We want to ensure say we create jobs and raise the living standards for people so that people that will get living wages and able to live lives with worthy of emulation. And we get to ensure say we fix the infrastructure, both in terms of roads, in terms of water supply, in terms of energy, in terms of health, in terms of education, and ensure say we use the emerging digital space for get comparative advantages where applicable for ensure that we improve things generally for the country. We need our support, we need our blessings, we need our guidance in our direction. Together, we can make Sierra Leone a better place. Together, we can ensure victory for the APC. May God help you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you get it. You've heard it, and it's straight coming from a heavy, heavy voice within the party circle. And what he say, it almost like policy, if you like. And we really appreciate you, Dr. Conte, for taking busy time off, for always try for address or express things them of national prominence, if you like, or important significance to the Sierra Leonean people. Hopefully, we will have you again soon, sir. Probably before the weekend or the weekend, as the situation remains fluid in terms of information where they come out, and we demand them being respected, because we need for give Sierra Leoneans their up-to-date information. Dr. Conte, once more, many, many thanks, sir.
Welcome, Prince. Thank you. Always welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, Unadoya Yam, Dana bin Dr. Richard Conte, and this effectively brings an end to the program. But Fambule Muna, not forget, Charles Magai will be on the program here tomorrow. Tomorrow, I repeat, Charles Magai of the PMDC, where they coalesce. There's some confusion. Charles Magai don't join APC. But no. I don't believe he's joined the All People's Congress, but they coalesce, just like coalition. With the All People's Congress, and we'll get Boku team for talk tomorrow with Charles Magai Esquire. Okay, please don't touch that dial tomorrow, and make sure you wanna spread this message. Fambule, once more, this is not the TNN TV media empire. We're not the hub of the conversation. We series on the June 24, 2023 elections continue. Today I've been Dr. Richard Conte. Tomorrow is Charles Magai, and we get many other programs and they come on. Even the mayoral candidates, they will be featured on this program. The program is open to everybody, whether you're not PMDC, whether you're not NDA, whether you're not SLPP or APC. Everybody is welcome on this program. If you choose not to attend, it's on you. That's your business, not my business, not certainly our business. If you really care about the people, you take the opportunity to come and explain to the people what they need for no, not pick and choose. I mean, you get the right for pick and choose who say you want to attend, but if you pick and choose as to why you don't attend because you want to make, application, then that's up to you. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, once more, this has been a TNN program. My name is Prince Nkrumah, and I thank you very much for watching. Until we catch up again, don't touch that dial. Hello, everybody.